Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Daniel Kim, CEO of Tiger Research. First of all, thank you very much for the remarkable co-hosts who have given me the honor to speak today and also arranging this beautiful venue. So let's begin. The video was amazing, so I'm going to a little bit talk about why Indonesia and how Tiger Research, VVI, Saison Capital, and D3 Labs work together on this paper called RIRA, and one of the first papers about the potential and the large size of the Indonesian tokenization market. But a little bit about Tiger Research. Tiger Research is the most trusted Web3 intelligence layer. We call ourselves a research hub and a think tank of everything to do with Asia blockchain market and Web3 market. We work with over 100 foundations, enterprises, and institutions on helping them guide and shepherding them into the Asian blockchain market in terms of business development and building out the best business model using the blockchain technology. We're mostly famous for our weekly newsletter that goes out to 10,000 people at a daily basis and 100,000 monthly users who love to learn more about Asian blockchain market. We're a trusted media partner of Bloomberg, as well as a trusted source of information of your favorite AI tools, such as OpenAI and Perplexity. So Project RIRA. RIRA means hero in Bahasa Indonesian. It symbolizes the potential and the innovation that we're going to bring into Indonesia's tokenization market. In November 2024, a couple of our leaders from Tiger Research, VVI, Saison Capital, and D3 Labs got together and kind of thought about why is Indonesian tokenization market so undervalued and no one really knows about it. So we thought writing up a guide paper or a white paper that talks about and explains what's the potential and what's the background and what are the macroeconomic factors that's really influencing the growth of Indonesian tokenization market. You can actually download the full report by clicking this QR. I'll give a minute. And this would probably be the only publicly available paper that you can learn A to Z about Indonesian tokenization market. Thank you. So it's kind of early in the morning and it's Bangkok, so tokenization 101. So what is tokenization? In my terms, I believe tokenization is a process of converting an asset into a digital token by using the innovative technology of blockchain. And generally speaking, tokenization can bring and improve the operational efficiency of the capital flow of an asset. According to our research, generally people who have embedded tokenization enjoys about 24% in cost reduction through the immutability and the transparency of smart contracts. We also believe you can increase transparency, which can bring in more trust, not only internally from external investors, and potentially can bring up about $3 billion worth of foreign direct investment if you implement the transparency of blockchain into an asset. We also believe it can improve liquidity, because in fact, even in Indonesia, there's around 100 million people who are unbanked, who don't have the privilege to use the banking system and the financial vehicles that we enjoy here today. So I think it can improve the liquidity of the general assets that you manage. So why Indonesia? So asset tokenization is great, but why does it matter for Indonesia? There are certain macroeconomic factors that influence the potential of Indonesia. First, Indonesia is surprisingly the fourth most populous country in the world with 280 million people. And among them, around 50 to 60% of people are in the age of their teenagers to early 30s. It's not a surprise that Indonesia is the number one country for number of users of TikTok and Instagram Reels and all these digital native tokens. Indonesian young generations are born digital native, and we are continuing to see the trend move on. Indonesia's crown jewel export is natural resources. 20% of the GDP of Indonesia comes from mining and agriculture, and it's about a $200 billion annual market in the world. 22% of the global nickel exports are happening in Indonesia, and is certainly the largest market in the world. I cannot miss to highlight that in Indonesia, investing in crypto or digital asset is a norm. There are more than 3 times the number of accounts on CX and DXs of Indonesian residents than the number of account holders in Indonesian stock market. Last but not least, the Indonesian government are very proactive on promoting the industry and also nurturing investor protection of digital assets. Both Bapeti and OJK, which are the financial regulators, are actively discussing with our partners and ecosystems to nurture the industry. We believe in the next 5 years, Indonesian tokenization market will grow to an 88 billion annual market with a compounded annual growth rate of 92%. Not only tremendous growth that we're going to see, we also think we're going to see a $300 million of annual cost savings by removing the barriers and the layers and the intermediaries that we don't really feel comfortable about every day in managing our financial vehicles and capital. We also think, not just in economic terms, but we also think humanitarianly, we're going to provide and empower 100 million Indonesian unbanked population to do more in a safer environment in this emerging economy. Through our research, we wanted to help out the institutions, enterprises, and investors on finding out then what should we think about doing business in Indonesia. And we have found out 5 sectors. First is digital money. As explained on the video, Indonesian government is promoting a lot of sandbox initiatives as well as CBDC project called Project Garuda that nurtures the digitization of digital Indonesian rupiah. I'm not sure you know, but annually there's about $9 billion worth of inflow remittance into Indonesia, which is a daily it's a capital that is raised by Indonesian people who are working out of Indonesia, and they're sending back their money back to their homeland. And generally, the commission to transfer this $9 billion worth of money is around 6%, roughly $500 million. So if we implement digital money, we can really give back this $500 million worth of capital to the owners, as well as innovate that into a more efficient market. Second is Indonesia's crown jewel, commodities. There's a lot of global real-world asset projects and tokenization projects that is actively going on in a global level, but none of them really have touched commodities. Nickel, palm oil, coal, gold. Indonesia alone, there's around $70 to $200 billion worth of exports that's happening on these commodities, and it is still an untouched area for tokenization. We believe it is a tremendous opportunity that lies behind any institutions and any business developers to really tap on this emerging market. Third is financial assets. I'm sure a representative of Ondo is here today with us, and Ondo is making a very innovative financial products and service offerings in the US using the US Treasury bills. But in Indonesia, Indonesian government bonds are now at 6.92% yield, probably a 2% higher than the US bond. So why not leverage this extraordinary opportunity in working with the Indonesian government bonds? Fourth is carbon credits. The global carbon credit market is about 50 billion market, but Indonesia already has a carbon exchange run by Indonesian stock exchange, and they're really proactive on promoting clean energy solutions. Last is real estate. I mean, you can imagine how large of a metropolitan city of Jakarta or Bandung or a beautiful island Bali has such a nice real estate market, but the problem is illiquidity. If you own a property, a luxury property in Jakarta or Bali, normally when you sell it, you need 20 to 30% minimum discount on transacting that asset. It's not a happy situation. So I think tokenization can actually bring a lot of opportunities in the sectors that are out here. My recommendation, or our recommendation, is as follows. First, take advantage of the large commodity market in Indonesia. Second is build out new revenue streams like Ondo did in the US market. Build new clients, new business models that can really revolutionize your existing business lines. Third is leverage the cross-border transaction either through stablecoins or CBDC project led by Indonesia. Annually, Indonesia enjoys around $380 billion worth of cross-border trading, and we believe we can at least get $10 to $100 billion in cost cuts on just transaction fees. Fourth is bring liquidity into the high-value assets that was previously cannot be touched by retail investors, like art, real estate, ships, manufacturing. I think we will see a lot of potential in these high net worth assets. Last is, given Indonesia's position as the titan of Southeast Asia, I think the people and the companies and organizations who can tap into Indonesia and win the first few wins will really be the leader in ASEAN, leading the asset tokenization market. Last but not least, 4 recommendations on your internal strategy. First, incubate your blockchain expertise. Second, work closely with regulators on building out the regulatory knowledge and guidelines on how we're going to perform in Indonesia. Third, Indonesia is an island, consists of 17,000 different small archegoses. So secure a right infrastructure on partners. Last is integrate seamlessly with your existing TradeFi or existing system so you can take full leverage of what you're doing right now. Thank you for listening to my presentation. And now I'd like to invite Marcus Raharja, Chief Investment Officer of BRA Investment, to talk more about what he's actually doing in Indonesia. Thank you.